It's Tuesday, September the 23rd, 9 p.m. in the DMV. I'm Sam
And
Giacinto.
6 p.m. here in Los Angeles. I'm Jack Armstrong. Welcome to Tech Talk Live.
And
We've got some
tonight we have
special
some
guests.
special guests here. We have Kish and George, both software development engineers at Amazon, here to talk about a variety of tech topics this evening. To kick it off, we have to talk about these AI partnerships. It seems like these are coming out of nowhere. We have countries, we have companies. It's all coming together. Question mark? Question mark? Question mark? Especially with I guess the U.S. and the U.K. entered into a strategic agreement to. The thing is, the details on this are somewhat vague, and we'll have to see it play out. But I don't know if y'all saw this week.
Yeah, it was interesting. They talked about some AI cloud infrastructure investment, but also some stuff with nuclear power and fusion.
Yeah, and a bunch of companies are also investing. I think Microsoft committed 30 billion over 4 years. Nvidia is building out large infrastructure, and they have this. I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's called Stargate UK. It's a partnership of OpenAI, Nvidia, and Scale. That's also part of the agreement. It's gonna revitalize the UK economy.
Yeah, I see an OpenAI article on it, in terms of, I guess, so 8,000 GPUs in the first quarter of 2026, and then 31,000 over time. And I guess, to compare this to the Stargate US project, let's see if they have a number. They don't have a number of GPUs in their press announcement for the US version. But I guess by scale, it's maybe a third of what the US is doing immediately, and then a 15th of what the US is doing over the next 10 years, maybe. But also the UK is likely, it's probably a larger relative investment compared to the size of the UK, maybe.
Well, it seems like they need this. They need more collaboration to really bring. Also, I think correct me if I'm wrong. What do you guys think? Is this good for distributing AI across more than just the US? Because it's kind of a little centralized right now. We need Minstrel, we need Anthropic, we need other companies to have infrastructure to build on, and including in the UK and the EU. They're kind of falling behind again here. So I think this could be good. What do you guys think?
It also just helps cement Nvidia's dominant position in the compute and training area, just because they're able to provide more and more and make companies rely on them. Everyone's trying to get out under their thumb, but they're so far ahead, and also everything is built on top of that.
Yeah, unlike EU, UK has much better laws in terms of AI, so it kind of makes sense why UK was chosen and not EU countries. Plus, UK does have some great, compared to most EU countries, it does have a more stable financial sector. In general, the economy is going down the gutter slower than EU.
And that's
the economy side. I feel like if this isn't just concentrated in London, where the UK see most of its economic growth, I could see this doing a lot of good for it. But if it's just in a London suburb, I think it's just putting more and more eggs in a London-sized basket that could be very concerning.
The one cool thing about the partnership was somewhere Palantir also sneaked in, which was really interesting because Palantir they also committed like $1.5 billion to UK for defense and military AI, which seemed really
Oh
interesting.
boy. Palantir just wants to sell more and make their valuation make sense.
I know.
Oh god.
Well, yeah, they're expanding their market, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting because Palantir office is like about 10-minute or like 20-minute walk from where Sam and I live.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, it's right near waterfront for Georgetown.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting. Okay.
Sam doesn't even know what's next door.
Well, I mean, that's the way they want it, right? They want to be watching you, but they don't want to know where you are. So that's
Sam, I'm
it's
a little
so-
confused. Don't you go on really long walks every night? Shouldn't you know this already?
I'm probably connected to a lot of their infrastructure, to be honest.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of crazy though that not to segue into anti-surveillance mobile phone related things, but I guess one kind of side tangent from the Apple announcement last week was so Apple released a new form of memory protection for active apps,
Oh yeah.
which kind of I think went under the radar, perhaps. But I guess it's the first kind of covers the entire memory space, and allows. I'm trying to. It's it MIE.
Yeah, memory integrity enforcement.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of flew under the radar. Especially with iOS malware specifically, because it's relatively rare in terms of you usually have really well-funded actors with very specific targets against journalists or adversaries. But not to turn it into a deep technical dive, but check it out because they did a really cool write-up on how it works and sort of but hopefully I'm protected from a little bit more of Palantir shenanigans for now.
Also, this is interesting. Briefly, just to summarize, Sam, I think you're talking about background apps that aren't closed or just processes on the iPhone and iOS 26. You're referring to that, right? Like there have been changes that,
Yeah, so I mean, in short, it's novel because it's the first to cover the entire memory space. It's not just developers who opt into the technology. You can't at least turn it off in a non-debug environment. It's enabled, system wide. So from the iOS base layer to the applications we run, and it just keeps them in their lane. Essentially, it keeps them from accessing memory they shouldn't, or allocating things that they shouldn't, accessing things that they shouldn't. So it's just an interesting segue off of the surveillance state.
There was a push in, since Apple moved to ARM. ARM has something similar, but it's like a baby version. It's the MTE. It's called like memory tagging, but it's like a baby version of what Apple has done. Apple basically took it and supercharged it to be synchronous. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of those type of sort of like sanitizers really help with your security model. It's interesting to see that it's getting moved into hardware, because a lot of these types of protections can also be done with software support. In Clang, you can use, I think it's memtag, if I remember the sanitizer option. But a lot of these protections are very expensive, and it's very cool to see these be implemented in hardware, which removes a lot of those barriers. It'll be interesting for stuff at the kernel level. Anyway,
I'm waiting for Pegasus version 2 that gets around it.
yeah. It would be really awesome if these memory protection features get added to actual embedded processors and not just these
Really cool phones.
first-class, first-party Apple processors, and because like you can only get access to these types of memory protection and sanitizers in big mainline chips from Apple, Google, Amazon's Graviton actually has some pretty advanced sanitizers as well, coming out of Israel, and then I think Google Tensor also supports it, but I'm not sure. But anyway,
interesting.
it supports features like this.
Yeah.
Going back to the previous conversation, I forgot to mention one thing. So I think the one part that may have annoyed the U.S. tech market was, so in EU they have the special category of AI models. So they have like 5 or 6 categories that they have the models in, and they forced all the new models of like Claude and GPT-5, Llama to essentially disclose every piece of training data if they have to run in EU. And these companies just don't want that to happen. That's one of the reasons UK does not have any law similar to that. Neither does the US. And if you're making a proprietary model, you do not want to disclose any technical documentation or training data, which is honestly on the EU's part a blow to their own economy. I understand why they did it, but I mean it is going to stifle a lot of development for AI, which is the future, as much as people hate it or love it.
No, it's interesting you say that, because that is the input to your system, and in a way it removes a layer of the black box when it's like, oh, we downloaded the whole Disney movie repository from YouTube, and that's why it's like,
yeah.
In some ways, I think they don't want to reveal that, because from what we know, and we talked about this before, Jack, is there's a lot of copyrighted material that has been consumed. The whole move fast and break things, because there's a lot of great copyrighted material that's high quality because it's actually been reviewed by humans in the loop, right? It's like you make an animated movie and it's a Pixar movie, there's a level, there's a standard that comes with it having that brand name. But if you can use that data and incorporate it versus, synthetic data or just some random slop somebody on YouTube created, you'll have a better output.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it's a problem we see. One thing that stood out to me with this announcement on the whitehouse.gov press release was, I mean, this is not really talked about. We've talked about power usage and just kind of AI in general with, data centers being built too close to people. But it looks like, I don't know if they're experimenting with fusion and nuclear plants in the UK first before it comes here, but there is going to be a need for that type of research too. So it's interesting that was in there, because we can't really go through a future, and I mean, I know things get more energy efficient typically over time, but training these models, and as AI data usage and processing power and demands grow, we need new power sources, not only solar, wind, battery storage. I mean, that's not really going to cut it. I think nuclear power, that was an interesting part of that. I don't know if you guys caught that, but we need more power. So I don't know when it's going to change here. I know the EPA and government here, I don't know. Public support doesn't seem to be great, given obviously some of the accidents that have happened across various places, but yeah, I mean, do you guys think that that the demands for AI in terms of power will accelerate development not only in the UK, but maybe they'll take that research here? Like, what are your thoughts, given your backgrounds?
We've already been seeing a lot of the big tech companies invest in this nuclear smaller designs, like Meta announced a while back that they were investing heavily in it. The issue here is just regulatory, working with the Department of Energy, and also getting local support. A lot of the anti-nuclear stuff is pretty like a local issue, and communities want the cheap power. They just don't want it in their backyard. So proving to the U.S. population and those local areas that it's safe will be a really big thing. And there's just also been a lot of historical stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, energy is a big deal. Like the area I live in, there's so many estimates that we're going to have power outages by 2030 in Northern Virginia just because of the amount of data centers being built up, and the amount of people moving in because of the boom of tech. So yeah, nuclear is the safest and the cleanest option, but I doubt it will move there given the current administration. So we'll see in 4 years.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and just the final point too on that, I think especially with data centers and AI training is, there's a large amount of, base load where it's like you run your model, you train your model 24/7 or over. It's a very consistent, repeatable. You're training it in the dead of night, or when it's not windy outside. And, as tired as it is as a refrain to other renewables, you do need a baseband power load to support your baseline usage, or else, you can't. I mean, or else you sort of end up with what we see in Memphis, at least with the XAI facility running. I mean, really gas turbine generators, for hours per day. I mean, and honestly,
Elon wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I mean, nothing will probably come from it, but it's like, that's the sort of reliability you need to make something like that work. Is you need a power source that's consistent, and it's still the Achilles heel of renewables. If physically the best way to store power is pumping water up a hill, and then generating the power when it runs down. I mean, it's 3 times as efficient as the best battery. I mean, it's just like just moving water up a hill. I mean, it's like, okay, like, but we can't really do that. So, and it's not getting any easier too, because we have all of these really high power uses too of just running the models, especially when it comes to photo and video generation. I mean, running these things on whatever cloud platform you decide. I'm sure AWS has a lot of that happening. Is going to. I mean, it's going to consume a lot of your resources, whether at kind of random times too. Because I guess, well, maybe not even random. Like if it's a photo or video generation, people get off work, and traditionally during the peak consumption times for consumer, you're going to have people doing even more. They're going to be running their air conditioner and generating a cat video or something. Like it's going to coincide. A lot of the consumption of AI generated content kind of coincides with the consumption of power for other purposes. I don't know if that's something y'all have seen. I don't know if there's any at least consumer usage patterns, because in a way compute is much like power in a certain. I mean, there's a finite resource, even among the giants. So I don't know. I'm sure there's peak times for that. Right? I don't know how people are using it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned video. I recently we had a mixer with one of our customers. I can't tell the name, but the customer's was under NDA, the same as employees at AWS, so they could know the inner workings with it. And this customer ran, let's say, a large video service platform. I don't know.
Or no, Siri, bad.
Did we say anything that would have? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the customer was mentioning the disruption because so many people are uploading AI generated video content on their platform that their own creators are slowly being underpaid for their, let's say, talent. And
Is this on like TikTok? So AI generated video content is. I'm not following. Sorry.
so it's not the normal website. Let's call it service industry. So,
Okay. Okay. So.
Yeah, so that it was an interesting conversation because they're seeing a downtick of payments they have to send to actual human creators because of the move to AI generated videos. Because people can basically find and upload and create anything to a degree. So they're starting to see a disruption. I doubt it'll be quick enough. It won't be night and day, but I think within 10 years we're definitely going to see a huge decrease in the monetary value of original video creation.
So I guess if you're a creator today, AI generated videos is not only taking bandwidth and attention away from you, sort of, and it's only going to get worse. Yeah.
I mean, if you have a finite a pool of people streaming your service, and you just give them more options, you are dividing attention. Yeah.
No, I mean it's a content overload, right? And like when you can not only create content but essentially upload a user's profile to create content that is most engaging to them, it's like, there's no more Mr. Beast. It's a Mr. Beast based on your previous likes and view count and all. I mean, it's just, it'll be hyper personalized AI created content, and at that point, why would you like, and we've spoken about this before, Jack, I guess, like the idea of AI content and sort of like, would you want to watch something knowing it's AI? I know we've talked about it in the past. As long as
we talked about it the last time I was on the podcast too. It's a really interesting topic, and I'm just waiting for OnlyFans AI and see how that destroys the entire app. Waiting for it to go down and fire.
Well, you'd be surprised, but I think I came across this on Reddit one day. But there was a guy who reviewed all of the let's just say less savory alternatives for AI usage. I don't know where you found the time, but
so that's the industry the customer belonged to. So that I was trying to be coy by saying service video. That's the industry the customer belonged to. But it was really interesting chat I had with them.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like people want a connection. I mean, I don't think personalities are necessarily going to go away, but maybe it could. I don't know. It's also strange because, like, if you know someone's real, like, I guess, imagine a creator, doesn't matter who.
Mr.
If
Beast.
suddenly you were told tomorrow that Mr. Beast was AI this whole time, he was the best AI generated model, all his videos were just AI, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, he still has an audience, right? People still found it entertaining. So, like, could there be a creator in the future that is actually not a real person, that is just an AI from the beginning? Do you know what I mean? Like, we've already talked about avatars. Like, AI generated avatars are pretty popular and not that difficult. There's a lot of companies doing it, right? So where they have angles of your face, right? I mean, again, it's kind of like generating AI images based on, training based on a data set of like, I don't know, 20 images, right? We've seen this many, many, many times. So it's kind of like, but as it gets better, it can generate a full video model and then clone your voice, right? So I don't think it's that far off, right? But like, what keeps a personality entertaining? What keeps people coming back? Is it the sense of being real? I mean, I guess we don't know this. I mean, I think it is. People like a sense of authenticity. People like knowing it's a real person. But also, could a creator all this whole time been fake? I don't know.
We're real, I promise.
Yeah,
Well, but
that's
think about it. Like obviously you will have other channels. So on Snapchat, you still post stories. On Instagram, you still post other kinds of content that it's not real. It's all AI generated. On YouTube, sure, you do longer form stuff with, like Mr. Beast or Marquez Brownlee, right? We talk about that. I mean, it could be anything, right? So there's a lot of popular channels
for sure.
that could, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be disrupted, but I think I see the potential maybe for like other channels to take away from their audience. I think that would be the concern, like in the next 10 years, right?
One thing I would like to bring up, though, is people's usage of AI tools for personal use have been a lot to do with the loneliness crisis or trying to get human connection in the world right now. I don't necessarily think Mr. Beast or these big creators would get displaced by a pure AI thing, but AI being used as like a one-on-one like friend or whatever. If you remember when OpenAI transitioned to GPT-5, there was a few news stories I saw about people complaining that the glazing model 4.0, I think, I think it's that that people were very upset that got removed because that was their quote unquote friend. So I think it could be interesting to see how that affects the creator economy, because potentially smaller creators might be affected more than these bigger creators that have the resources to make a spectacle to bring people in. But anyway, you guys have probably talked about that before.
Also, I mean, behind the fake AI, though, is a person. Unless there's going to be like an agency that creates 50 channels that are like fake and it's just one person and they're doing this for profit. Like, I mean, if it's just like your side job, you don't want to be on camera. So to make it easier for you, even days you don't want to get out of bed, don't want to do your hair, don't want to, take a shower, like, you can just stay, and prompt the AI instead, right?
Yeah.
But that's still a lot of work at this stage.
Have you guys talked about, speaking of AI, like the industries that you think will be disrupted the most in the next few years? I think Microsoft recently released their list. I don't know why they did that, but sure. It was a cool read about it, but I definitely, so at work, for sure, we have internal models that we use to assist, and it's getting so much better. Like we have, I mean, at this point it's public knowledge, but we're pretty much hiring freeze for new grads because we don't want them. So AI is pretty much doing their entire job. It's crazy. The most lucrative major in college has becoming the most unemployed.
I saw that stat. Yeah, there's the whole learn to code thing. I mean, computer engineers have the second highest unemployment rate of new graduates, and that was ahead of a lot, or higher than a lot of the traditional, dunk on STEM, majors. I mean, like, so it's it's kind of a stark transition because this happened in the span of less than a decade, truly. Because think back to 2015. I mean, that was like, the Silicon Valley heyday as far as like, hiring and
I would even argue it happened in like less than 5 because COVID was a boom for tech.
That's
hires.
true. Yeah. I mean, 2022, I mean, it had a huge hiring
Like
spike.
2020 till 22, tech industry was booming. They couldn't hire fast enough. So it's only been a couple of years, and here we are. That's
One
an AI
thing I would
hat.
going on a little bit more about the hiring freeze for entry level. AI does do a great job at those really like Klein or Amazon Q or Cursor. They do a really good job at that entry level type of expectation of work. But getting to higher quality and actually solving hard problems, I see it falling on its face a lot in my personal use of it. When I'm trying to work with like debug some embedded issue or just creating a good design of how to structure this large module. Those issues might be solved with larger context windows, but as we get as we try to solve harder and harder problems, the current approach with transformers, you have to get into larger sizes, and also you have to do more RL approaches, which just for training, which just makes which just requires more computation, requires more training time, and yeah,
I mean that
I
completely
still
agree.
see my job existing, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I joked about this with Sam a while ago. We have graduated at the perfect time because at this point, the people who are established in the careers are senior enough or have enough expertise that AI cannot replace them. But then people 5 years younger than us are suffering because you need to go through the initial grind to get level of experience. But the initial grind is just replaced by AI because it can do it in minutes.
It will be interesting to see how world models like Isaac Gym, the Nvidia's product for training things in like a semi-real environment and training reinforcement learning style robot agents, how that will progress. And if they're able to solve those computational needs and being able to iterate fast enough, we could actually see something really powerful. I just am skeptical, just because of back in 2016, 2017, when I actually did play around with some RL things, it's really fucking expensive, really freaking expensive to do. Just not having a easy way to determine what your reward is. If you look at your reward function and trying to you're just exploring your state space and trying to figure out what your value function is. But anyway,
for sure. I wonder how the industry will react to this, because the interesting part of all of this is in the past 2-3 years since this disruption, there hasn't been a drop in the enrollments to these majors, which seems really interesting. Are people just holding on to hope that it will bounce back, or because as rationality goes, like you would expect enrollments to match the industry requirements, and it does not match, which still baffles me.
I feel like I wonder if more people are going to learn how AI can help. Like for example, if previously you went to school to be a software engineer and now that is being replaced by certain AI models. Okay, well, that's fine. Well, now I can learn how to go to school, be a AI superpower software engineer, and utilize all these tools to, like, I don't want to call it like an orchestrator. Like, now I can master all these things that previously I didn't know. It's like maybe they're now teaching like broader concepts and how to use different models for things. Because I will say, from like experience playing around a little bit, it's still not easy. Like, it still isn't easy to build an app like with AI with no knowledge. So like, sure, the tools can save you an hour and maybe take it down to 5-10 minutes, but it's still, so it's allowing you to be more efficient, but it still takes, debugging, it still takes, trial and error, it still takes a lot of prompting properly, and knowing what model to use when, knowing how to manipulate things, connect everything together, and if this isn't working, now I know what to do. So like, I don't know, like, I think also the economy is in kind of a strange place. I know, we're focused more on tech, but like, it does play a role in the amount of companies, the amount of new companies that would need the services provided by software people. Because, when things are easier, there are more companies doing things, more companies hiring. And like, I think AI has been seen a lot as a way to cut costs, given the economy too. And I think when the economy gets a little bit better, companies will feel better to also hire more people as well. So like, I'm trying to think of an example, but yeah, I mean, previously, if you were to hire 2 marketing people, well, maybe now you hire 1, and then AI kind of makes up for the difference, because you'd rather subscribe to a couple AI tools rather than hiring a whole second person full time. Does that make sense? And then, I mean, speaking of economic, pressures, now AI software companies have a lot more potential. I mean, personally, I think like, even if less people are getting hired, people are still subscribing to AI tools because they perceive them to be more efficient. Do you know what I mean? Like, Cursor's not going anywhere. Windsurf's not going anywhere. Coding tools aren't really going anywhere, right? GitHub's not going anywhere. And like, as more and more projects are developing, like, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
one thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Kish. I got one really quick thing. I recently went through an interview loop for an external candidate, and it was I was talking to the bar raiser. So that's the person that ensures like standards are upheld and tries to make sure the best candidate is picked and whatnot. And we were discussing how potentially we should look at how do we evaluate a person if they have these AI tools and skills, just because part of the job, a part of the new push of using AI tools from Jassy and them should be evaluated or whatnot. I don't know if you've seen that at all, Kish, but it was an interesting thought by him. It's hard to evaluate someone with AI in the picture, though. But anyway.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point, because I guess to segue off of that, George, because there is a subsection of thought where it's essentially just, AI is another modern tool, and is it a matter of just how well you can use what's afforded to you to accomplish what you need to do? So but then it's like, do they have the fundamental skills to like function without it? I guess is also, so it's like, it's a tool that's almost so powerful. It's like, it's very valuable to have that skill set, but then also like, what are you without it? I don't envy the position of having to judge people based on that.
A slight. Speaking of AI, a small segue. Do you guys read about DSA at NASA?
No.
Huh.
So NASA announced this. I don't know how recent, but it's really cool. They're starting to use. They're planning to use large language models, AI models, and something that will allow them to allow a small set of spacecrafts to work autonomously, completely autonomously. It requires no ground connection. They
I
made
see.
a sector about it, and it's pretty cool.
In-space compute is a very big thing
Yeah.
that people have invested a lot in. It's
It
very
is
cool package.
expensive trying to maintain an
Yeah.
entire crew to service missions, but if smaller spacecrafts can autonomously achieve their mission goals, that's worth every penny of development.
It's true. Yeah, because then theoretically it could also go further into space, right? Without the need for humans,
Yeah.
because even if it traveled years into the away from Earth,
Yeah, it's
right?
for
That'd be
sure.
cool.
But I my favorite part of AI in space was Russia's chat model. So Russia put a chat model on their side of the ISS, and they gave it. I'm convinced that an intern made this name up because it's called GigaChat.
So,
Yeah,
do
sure
you have more
think.
information on that? I haven't heard of any Russian AI endeavors.
Yeah, it's called GigaChat.
GigaChat. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's on ISS. They're planning to integrate it on the ISS IT systems for the cosmonauts. But the name is phenomenal.
Well, yeah, I guess it's 1,000 times better than Mega Chat. That's
Funny.
yeah, I get interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So-
if I
Hmm.
yeah, whenever I decide to have a career change, AI in space would be my next go-to because it's pretty cool having autonomous spacecrafts that allow travels of millions of miles away, so you don't have to worry about communication lag. Is pretty cool.
Yeah, because you're essentially cutting the latency down. Thousands of times if you don't have to communicate with Earth. I mean, it's
Yeah.
You have your little swarm of I guess in some consensus forming
Yeah.
way, making decisions about. Yeah, that's super neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I wonder if any of it will be part of Artemis that's coming up. That was a big sigh, George. You want to expand?
Yeah. Yeah. Artemis is. I wish it was managed better. Unfortunately, I don't see Artemis staying doing more than one or two more missions than getting defunded, just due to launch costs and then also getting international partners and keeping everyone happy is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, to launch one Orion capsule, which is Artemis's primary. It's where the crew go, and then they get injected and go to space. That costs $2 billion, and that doesn't include all of the landers and all that fun stuff. I can see SpaceX developing their lander, and also Blue Origin developing their lander as well externally, but the economics don't really make sense at that price point, and then I don't know Congress's will to get back to the moon is really there right now.
I think we just need a second Cold War. Force us to back into the moon.
we're kind of heading there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
Well,
I mean, it's hard
do you
to
guys also?
Sorry, it's just hard to capture people's imaginations like that anymore because they operate in 7-second intervals.
I think that there was, like, I have to say, there is a disconnect of people not realizing what space missions have provided as a benefit on Earth. Like, it's like
Oh,
if
yeah.
you run a
Yeah.
campaign of, hey, this would not exist if we did not have space missions. Like cordless drills would not exist in everyday hands because those were developed by NASA to be used on space stations first. Something as simple as that, cordless power tools, would not exist if NASA wasn't there. So I don't know if they had a campaign just showing everything that every positive aspect of space mission that would really help with the funding goals and changing the public purview.
And you bring up a good point too, with all the, I mean, the indirect benefits of research, tied to space travel, and space programs in general. I mean, maybe we do need a marketing campaign or something, just to, this innovation is brought to you, really brought to you by the first space mission. I mean, what they had to do to achieve it. A lot of technical innovations. I mean, I know ARPA was ARPANET. I mean, the internet used to be a military. A lot of things used to be military or government issued. Technologies that just found their own niche. Instead of communicating during a crisis, it's communicating by making cat videos. I mean, there's just a different application of.
It's again, it's disrupting even my favorite sport for the good. Like, there's an entire team at AWS that deals with Formula One. Because AWS sponsors the Ferrari team. I got to chat with them because I think few people are in the new headquarters. They're all racing fanatics, and the amount of data that can be processed by AI, it helps out. It's insane. They're talking about how CFD times AI can generate thousands of models to be tested and then test them without human interventions. So it just cuts down the time of, hey, this one person's tweaking this one part of the wing for 3 hours testing it out. And CFD versus just tell it parameters to go through and it would do it all. Yeah.
Wow. So, guys, there was also a Meta announcement. Did you guys see the new smart glasses with the screen inside? Hey, I gotta say, I was when I first bought the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, I thought there was a screen. So I was like, all right, whatever. There's no screen, no display. It's okay. It was, only this price. But for $7.99, right, we can now get a small display. And they had a little demo awkwardness. So blaming the Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah. Did you guys see the explanation? I guess for it, it was more so. Oh, we activated all the smart glasses at once by saying the key phrase. I mean, I feel like it makes sense, but there's got to be more to it.
Yeah.
Is it really just? And maybe they're honestly pre-programmed to respond to the CTO's voice or so. I don't know, but it's like there's got to be some somebody can't be walking down the street and just yell "Hey Meta" at somebody, and then their glasses
Yeah, it's
start going
but the
off.
MKBHD released a video on his review about them. I mean, he loves them. Maybe it was a fail. It was just a one-off fail during Meta's announcement. But the reviews I've seen are pretty positive.
Yeah, I guess once you get it out of the
Yeah.
kind of regimented environment, it does kind of seem to have a pretty unique. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess this could be the future. I mean, I'm kind of resistant to. I mean, I would imagine that this has to be at least a decade away from replacing the smartphone. So I guess this would be a third device. I mean, you have a watch and maybe a health ring and now a wrist controller and your smart glasses, and they all just kind of like. I mean, you're just wired up for. I mean, for making a video call, I guess, which is great. But I feel like the issue is like you can video call people, but I guess unless I didn't see it, I mean, there's no way for you to appear in somebody's like as yourself in the video. I guess you'd have some avatar or something, but there's no self. You're not looking at the other person, I guess, on the video call, but I guess you can make.
Yeah, I don't think people want that
environment.
Nobody wants to video call with their glasses. The phone's not going anywhere. Come on, like.
At that point, do you just end up seeing an eyeball? Like, it's just an eyeball versus a face. But,
yeah, I mean, you're just looking into their eye, I guess.
Yeah.
They really do need to. Oh, you go. You're good.
Yeah, no, it's just like even Apple with the Meta or with the Vision Pro. I mean, it's like, come on, these little avatars that look so silly. Like, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna talk about just the cost is really high. The power don't have much battery life. I think it would be very cool if you were able to get a little bit more integration with phones, but I think that's pretty lacking right now. I thought the control system was actually kind of cool, being able to just wear a wristband and do gestures. I don't know how comfortable it is. But I think what will determine if this is actually a success is if they can get developers to make useful apps that people actually want to use on the platform. Like that's kind of what they have to do. So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point with battery life too. I know that's kind of going to be the primary factor with a lot of these things. I mean, and there's not a lot of accurate figures out, I guess. I mean, everybody's a different term. It's all day battery. It's 40 hours of streaming video with Wi-Fi and the screen brightness turned all the way down. I mean, it's just sort of like there's no such thing as an accurate like term from any of these marketing guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Apple's has always been that. They never show raw figures. It's just 2x. Okay, great. What's the raw figure?
Also, they don't say how many charge cycles you can expect, which I think is interesting. And they don't have like a program where you can send your glasses back and get a replacement battery installed. Like, these are the things I think it'd be nice to know, because personally, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be weird, even though I like tech, but like sometimes it has crossed my mind. Look, if I want to wear them, I'm going to wear them. Okay. But it has crossed my mind, before. Wait, do I want to put these glasses on and use it right now? Like, if I could use my headphones or some other thing, right? Like, that's maybe cheaper and not going to run its battery to the ground as fast. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't like. I think you should. These devices are meant to be used and worn, but like, we don't have accurate like lifespan information about these devices, right? And obviously, if you buy the one with the screen, you're buying a first generation product. But now we see the Meta Ray-Bans of what they're already onto the second generation. And the first generation's already, it's really good. I mean, it's impressive technology with the. Even just as a headset or transition glasses, right? Like, it's pretty cool to, have a little camera if you need it, or snap a picture, right? Or pick up a phone call, listen to music with only you hearing it, or the microphone and the asking, "Hey Meta," like, yeah, it is kind of cool. And the heads up screen would be great. If you're out for a run or you need directions, maybe it'll just have an arrow. Now take a left. I mean, so yeah, not having to whip up, not even have to look at a watch or anything. Like, that is kind of cool. But the more you use it, you drain its battery. And then what? How many charge cycles until you get, to under half its capacity, right? Like, we don't really have information, and it is scary. I don't know, like, if you guys have seen it, but the battery is really small in the arm of the of the glasses. Like, it's not a big battery. I don't think it'd be difficult to replace, but like, I don't know if I'm the only one who like doesn't want to use the device because of, I mean, I get it. In AirPods, it's the same thing. It's a small battery, obviously, but I don't know. We don't really have accurate information about, its longevity. Is that a barrier for people, do you think?
I mean, honestly, I don't know who these are for.
Yeah, because a lot of companies also ban them. So like the tech people who work in tech are not going to wear them in the company because most companies won't even allow it. So you're basically streaming everything.
Oh yeah, like for privacy reasons?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even socially too, right? I mean, like, would you want? I mean, someone's pointing a camera at your face. Like, do you want to like talk to them? I mean, it's just sort of like, I don't know. It's from a social perspective. I think there is going to be.
You do look less goofy than Apple Vision though if you wear them in public. I saw some people wearing Apple Vision in public. That was interesting.
Yeah. Well, good conversation. We really appreciate you guys coming on and your perspectives. Super fascinating discussion tonight. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
This was great.
If there's any final thoughts, now is a great time. Did we cover? I think we covered a lot. Sam, what do you think?
We had a really really great show. I love the variety. We certainly had a huge spectrum of everything from memory security to space travel to meta glasses, battery life. I mean, really covered it all.
And so the new iPhone's out. Any first impressions, Sam?
It's finally great to not cope anymore with a glass back and quote unquote titanium.
And
it's
so the color
material. It's fine material.
What was it? A hard decision? The color choice?
No, I like seeing it on TV, so that's generally how I base my purchasing decisions.
Based on the color on the TV.
I like to see it in the ads, yeah, because it makes me feel better about myself.
What color did you get, by the way? I can't see it. Oh, okay. You got the orange one.
Yeah.
It's like early 2000s. We'll have a full review and in a bit. Honestly, I got to find a way we can. I mean, I don't have a 16 to compare it to, but from the 13.
Oh, I have a 16. We should run the same thing and see if the vapor chamber makes a difference. Yeah.
Does everyone has a 16 here? Oh, they're seething.
I'm just saying, I can't wait for next year when they have a Fold, because the Samsung Fold looks amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to buy the first generation of any Apple product, because I'm sure it will have no problems at all.
That's why we have Apple Care.
Okay, Apple Care and the Fold, they will reform that. That will not. That's sure.
Oh no, my screen got punctured again. Ah, damn.
I was riding my motorcycle and I impaled it on a fence or something. I don't know.
Well, thanks again for coming on, guys. We are live every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You get your podcast, Tech Talk Live, and on the web. Visit us at techtalklive.xyz.